What's up, guys? Hey, it's Blaine from Tiny Sparrow Marketing, back with another video about how to help you create content to grow your business, to get more leads, and to grow your influence and followership and all the things that social media can do for you. But what kind of camera are we going to do that with? Okay, so there are so many camera choices out there, right? Like it's literally overwhelming. I myself have been debating about what my next camera purchase is going to be for like a year or more, because there's so many choices. And just when I get settled in and figured out on the right one, there's an announcement that company's making a new announcement camera next week. And all of a sudden, all my plans are shattered. And the camera that I thought was the perfect camera 2 weeks ago is now dog crap. And I've got to come up with another $1,000 for the one that I actually want. But that's on a whole different level of what we're talking about for creating content for social media. When it comes to social media, you don't need a lot of fancy equipment to get a lot of impact and to get a lot out of a camera. So if you take all my camera budget away and all my cameras away, and let's say that the house is burning down and I can only take one, what one is that? Well, guys, that isn't even a hard question. Like, that's not even a hard answer for me. I am going to pick up my Osmo Pocket camera. This camera is such a beast when it comes to creating content of all kinds. And its biggest flaw, the biggest downside to this camera is, believe it or not, its size. It might be its biggest strength, but it's also its biggest downside, because how can you get such gorgeous, beautiful, amazing results from a camera this small? And truthfully, it's hard to bill clients when you show up, bill clients big when you show up with a camera so small. So it's probably not the right camera if you're a content creator and you need to show up and appear as a professional with professional gear that looks the part, that does the things that you need it to do. Probably not that camera. But if you're not a content creator and the content that you're creating is purely for yourself, so you're not having to impress anyone, and frankly nobody's seeing on the behind the scenes of your camera, this just flippin' can't be beat. And now that we're into the third generation of Osmo Pocket cameras, you can pick them up for dirt cheap. The first generation is you can pick them up on eBay all day long for the $100 range. The second generation is in that $200 range or so. In fact, I think you can buy a new one for $250. And the third generation that just came out is quite a bit more expensive. It's up more in the $600 range. So even I haven't picked that one up yet, because the first and second generation for me are still doing everything that I need them to do. So let's talk about what these cameras can do, what they can't do, and whether or not it would be the right fit for you and your business and your use case. Let's get into it. Okay, as I mentioned, there's 3 different generations of the Osmo Pocket camera now. The first generation, the second generation, and that's the one that we're going to talk about most today, and the third generation, which is just in a whole nother ball game, a whole nother arena. So that's for another day. But as I mentioned, my first and second generation Osmo Pockets are doing everything that I need them to do. I literally don't want or need them to do anymore for the purpose of creating content for YouTube and for social media. So the second generation would be the one that I recommend most. If you can afford a few extra dollars, or you can wait around on eBay for a good deal, buy a second generation. I believe they call it the creator combo. What does that mean? What's in it? What's part of it? So first of all, you're going to get the camera with any of the additions that you buy. You get the camera, obviously. But with the creator combo, you get a few more things that are going to take this to the next level and really make this the difference in being able to create great content that you're going to use on YouTube and for your website and other things that you may not get with the first generation so easily. And that is, you get this attachment. It goes right on the bottom, clips right on there, makes it a little bit longer. And I believe they call it the Do It All handle. Now, it has a USB-C plug on the back. The first thing about this is that you can let this thing run forever. As long as you've got battery power to supply it with, as long as you can plug it into a battery pack or into the wall through a USB charger or whatever, you can run this thing for days. It doesn't overheat. It doesn't, as long as you've got memory cards that'll support it, it will keep running. That's beautiful. So that's the first thing that I love about this camera. I can set it up for an interview or a long form content, or a time lapse where maybe I want to do a time lapse of the entire night sky, or 2 or 3 hours of sunrise or sunset. You can set it up with a power bank and trust that this thing is going to run the entire time without shutting down. So that is clutch. Next, the Creators Combo comes with a little teeny tripod that folds up. It's cute, it's fine, it serves its purpose when you need it. It screws right onto the bottom. And that works if you've got a table or whatever that you where you can set it up or whatever. That's just fine. 9 times out of 10 for me, I'm putting mine on the end of a friction arm. Now let me unplug this friction arm from the phone mount that I had it on earlier. This here is a friction arm. Let's get it where you can see it. It's simply got a clamp on one end and a 1/4-20 head that's going to fit in any camera tripod's socket at all. So I can mount the camera right on top of here, clamp this onto whatever I need to or want to, and it's going to stay there and it's going to work and it's going to do its thing. I don't have to bother with tripods. And so at this point, my entire kit that I'm walking into a place with to record is, I can hold it in my left hand. You literally, it can fit in your pocket. It's crazy. So with the Do It All handle, we get a tripod mount on the bottom of it. We get a USB-C connection on the back of it so that we can input power and run it for as long as we need. And then over here on the side, we get a 3.5 jack for a headphone input. So there's 2 ways that you can get audio into this camera. It's amazing and awesome. And let me tell you about both of them. So the first one, and the most easy one, the one that I'd recommend more than anything else, is using the microphone transmitter that comes in the content creator kit. So you'll get the camera, you get the Do It All handle, and then you get this little transmitter. Now this thing does need to be charged, so you're gonna have to charge it up ahead of time. But all you do is put the grip extension on and turn on your transmitter, and boom, they're connected. And now anything that this microphone picks up is going to be recorded straight onto your video file in the camera. Gorgeous, a beautiful, beautiful thing. This wireless thing, it also has a 3.5 on the top of it, so you can connect your own microphone if you want to. So whatever that might be, maybe you want to put this in your pocket, but then use a mic that comes over their ear and in front of their mouth. There's lots of different use cases, but if you're a person who wants to use your own mic, but you do need wireless, this can do it for you. If you need a wireless mic because you don't have it, this can do it for you. Or if you've got your own professional wireless mic system and everything, and you're not interested in using the DJI one, that's fine. This can do it for you. Just plug it right into the mic input on the side, and it's gonna bypass the DJI mic and go with yours. Hit the mic there, my own. So this thing is really covering all the bases, all in one thing for a content creator like you or I. We can take it to a quiet room. We can take it on location. We can put it in the car. We can put it dang near anywhere, set it up to record, and it's going to do all the rest for us. So what makes the Osmo Pocket so great? Like, how is this better than your iPhone or your Android phone camera? How is this better than anything else? Well, the number one thing right off the top is the fact that it has the built-in stabilizer on the top. It's the same. You've seen everyone with their gimbals that they're putting their smartphone on the gimbal and it's smoothing out the footage, or giant cameras on gimbals. This is the same exact thing. They've just built it into this teeny tiny form factor. So if you're a person like a realtor who's going to walk through a house and give a home tour, this is a perfect tool for that. If you're a person that's going to be, doing any kind of outdoor stuff, hunting, walking, jogging, I don't know, it doesn't matter. If you're walking and creating content, this is an ideal camera because it's going to smooth out the footage for you. Now, let's say that you're not moving while you're recording. You don't need that. The cool thing about this camera is that it can kind of do a little bit of a different feature in that it can track you. You can set this camera up stationary and hit record, draw a little box over your face, and it's going to track you. So if you're the type of person that wants to stand in front of a room and give a whiteboard lesson and you want the camera to follow you, this will do it. And it's not going to lose you. It sticks to you. It stays with you. You can set it to move quick or slow so that you get nice slow movements or fast movements. You can do all those changes and all those setups in the app, and it's going to do all of the recording for you, just like you've got a camera guy on the other side of the camera. You can literally set it and forget it and record an entire lesson, an entire training, an entire content piece, whatever it may be. It's going to be able to do the whole thing for you. It's going to do it in gorgeous 4K if you want to, and nobody's going to be the wiser. Literally, the biggest downfall of this camera is that it's so small and it seems like it wouldn't be as powerful as it is. Another of my favorite uses, probably my favorite use actually nowadays for this camera in my professional side of work that I do, as well as my own content creation, is this thing is a B-roll machine. I've shot more B-roll with this camera than with any other of my cameras combined. I'll also tell you that more footage that I've shot on this little camera has made it into final edits and into final productions than probably any other camera. But again, it's not a super impressive camera, so it's not the camera that you want to show up to a client shoot with. But if you do want to create gorgeous content that's way easier to create and looks way better than what you could do on your own and do it all with one hand, this is a perfect solution for that. I especially like using it for B-roll in slow motion. Now, the first generation Osmo Pocket could shoot 120 frames per second in 1080p. And at the time, that was amazing. There weren't any other cameras that were doing it that weren't super expensive, and it was gorgeous. 120 is still probably my favorite slow motion rate. Now, in the second generation, they doubled the slow motion to 280 or 240. It's still 1080, so you're still high def, but now we're recording 8 times slow motion. 120 is 4 times slower, and then we jump up to 8 times slower. That for me is a little bit slower than I want, and it tends to make lights flicker more than I would like. So I'm okay actually with just 120. I think that's the sweet spot for slow motion. In the professional world, when we're filming on much bigger cameras, rarely do we film above 60. Honestly, 60 is usually what we consider slow motion in bigger film sets. But with this camera, you can get all the way up to 240. So if you want to film something in super slow-mo, maybe you work in an industry where you work with very high-speed machinery or things that are moving very quickly, woodworking, metalworking, any type of tools, that kind of stuff can create beautiful visuals in slow motion using a camera like this. So the last reason that I love this camera, and I think that you're going to love it too, especially if you're somebody who's just getting started into creating your own content, is the time-lapse feature that it can do. It is so cool and so gorgeous. Now, your phone for a long time has been able to record time lapse. Just set it up, record the sky, and you can see the clouds going by. And it's gorgeous. It looks really nice. But where this takes things to another level is that it can record a time lapse, but it can also move the camera while it's doing that. Now, what does that mean? So it means that instead of the camera looking straight at the sky in this frame the entire time, we can set it so that we start over here, and over the course of, let's say our time lapse is going to be a 1 hour time lapse. So over 1 hour, the camera itself is going to move to the parameters that we've set it to move over the 60 minutes that it's doing the time lapse. So now we actually call that a motion lapse, and that's what DJI calls it. You can do if you connect the camera to your phone, I believe you can do 3 different points where you can ask it to go here, here, and here, or even here, here, and back. Otherwise, if you're just using the device itself without connecting to the app, you can set an A and a B point, which is typically all that you need to do. So, but the option is there if you wanted to do something where you start over here and then you come to the center and then maybe you look up and then back down. I don't know. You decide. The sky's the limit. But the fact that you can create a beautiful B-roll sequence without having to drag out $5,000 worth of equipment and gear, and it would be just so much gear and tripods and sliders and motors and all that kind of stuff. You can literally do everything with this dumb little camera that you used to be able to do, that you would have to have so much more equipment, money, time, and ability to set up. So you can make a gorgeous intro for your videos, or a transition sequence, you name it. Maybe you've got a really nice property or a really nice building, or maybe you're working in construction and you'd like to show a time lapse of the process of putting the roof on. I don't know. You choose. But the option's there. And that's the beautiful thing about the Osmo Pocket Camera, is that it gives you so many options and the ability to create such gorgeous, stunning video in such a small package, in such a simple interface, and at such an affordable price. Guys, it just can't be beat. So I'm going to leave it there. If you're a person who needs to create content for your business, but you find that it's time consuming or difficult, or you've tried to do it yourself and you found out that it is also time consuming and difficult and impossible for you to get done on your own, we want to help you. Whether you need us to consult with your team, help your team, or be a part of your team and put it out for you, we'd love to help you either way. Let's have a conversation, find out whether we'd be a good fit to work together or not. But till next time, guys, I'm here. My name's Blaine. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.